Okay, howdy, Ags. First of all, when you get a call from the head of your department years later, what you determine is that first thought, I must have missed a test. So luckily that wasn't the case here. And so I get to keep my degree. And so I'm very much appreciative of the call and for this award. So I'd like to address the students here at this time. So what I want to do is kind of talk to you about what I call building an engineer is like building and designing a project. So I'd like to use this analogy to kind of look at yourself as a lifelong project that continues to improve and grow. So we start with choosing your project location, because the first thing you'd like to do is avoid unstable soils, floodplains, and the sites that aren't so good. So the good news is you chose highly ranked Texas A&M and the Zachary Department of Civil and Environmental Engineering. Great choice for your site. So now let's move on from there. The next thing is to design a robust foundation. That's going to be what prepares you to support the loads that you place upon it. These are the base skills that underpin your engineering future. But it's not all engineering. I found out pretty quickly after I got into the working world that economics, finance, English, and debate became a pretty important part of my daily time as I moved up in my career into leadership roles. So now the next step in our project is you have to connect to utilities. And so I liken that to the information flowing in and out is like that connection to utilities. So if you look at today, the velocity of change of information is happening at a much greater rate. So to put things into perspective, I started off with a slide rule. For those of you who don't know what that is, it's how you calculated before there were batteries and things. So if you don't know what it is, look it up on your 5G phone as you sit there today, because you can connect to so many things from where you sit. Those tools that did not have batteries required us in our day to actually know how things worked all the way to the basics. And that became a big advantage for me. So don't forget to know exactly how things work and how they all fit together. So that's the connection to utilities. The next thing in our structure is you want to do is build your columns, your beams, and your cross bracing. I call this your support structure. And that to me equates to your coworkers, your friends, and your family. That's who supports you in your career. Spend a lot of time here. This is a great place to do that investment, because quite often you're going to need to transfer the load on you to those other members. So now let's add roofing, siding, windows. This is your protection against the elements. It will attempt to infiltrate and weaken your structure. So sound engineering combined with proven designs is your best protection against these forces. So keep those bad things out there on the outside. So now let's finish with some floors, some walls, and finish work. Remember that everything you do in design must be safe first, meet the basic function, but also has to be efficient, and it needs to be professionally presented. This is what makes a good structure a great structure. So you need to learn how to present yourself as efficient and professional. So now the project needs to be connected to the rest of the world also with your street. This is where you connect to the community. And so you've built yourself a good structure, you're connected in many ways, but now this is where you volunteer and you go to your community, because you've got all the tools now at this point, because you've built yourself to be a great thing in your community. And this is a lot of it is you're giving of yourself. And that's what I did, and I got so much out of it. And so that's what I highly recommend you do to build yourself and to build your community. Well, again, thank you very much. I appreciate everything. Gig 'em.